Good morning. Welcome to the 2021 Fall Athletic Ceremony. When I began thinking about what I would say today, my mind immediately went to how grateful I am to work with our players, coaches, and staff every day. Sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day routine of our jobs, schoolwork for you guys, and we forget to take a moment to take in how much everyone is doing to make sure that we're a top-notch school with an excellent athletic program. There's nothing like being part of an athletic team, watching our kids pour their heart and soul into their sport, 2 to 3 hours each day poured into their craft. To watch their confidence grow, to learn how to lead their team, and to play not for oneself, but for their team is something that's very hard to replicate in other areas of school life. When it comes down to the last game, meet, match, they're often tears. Tears from pure joy, tears because we may have come up a bit short. Watching our kids embrace each other after a hard-fought contest and taking time to thank their coaches for all that they have done for them is something that I wish everyone could experience. I know that I'm grateful that I have coaches who let me be a part of their teams and experience their ups and downs. Being out on the soccer field at the end of our soccer conference championship and being with our football team at their state championship game made me really step back and appreciate our kids and coaches. Again, the time, preparation, and energy put into our athletic teams is often forgotten in the day-to-day routines. I'm super grateful that I work at a school that understands the importance of the word student-athlete. Did you know in 2021, the 2021 school year, 84% of our middle school students and 70% of our upper school students participated on an athletic team? Did you know that 14 student athletes out of the 2021 graduating class went on to play a collegiate sport? These numbers are remarkable. Our school is successful because we are able to provide an excellent education with strong athletic programs run by outstanding coaches. If you haven't checked our website out and checked out our coaching bios, it's pretty amazing. So I want to thank Dr. Proctor and our faculty and staff who see the importance of helping our students become successful student athletes. We recognize that you often have to change your lesson plans or give extra help to keep our kids caught up and excelling both in the classroom and on the field, court, or course. I encourage our student athletes to reach out to those who have supported them, both in the classroom and during the athletic season. Make sure you thank those teachers and staff members and let them know that you appreciate them. Thank you to boosters, Scott Smith, Christina Summer, Susan Wink, Mr. Slim, and Mr. McCoy for all of your support. We couldn't do it without you. Chris Pollock, Tracy Schaefer, you know I ask a lot of you, and sometimes I know you think I'm crazy. You both are willing to drop everything you're doing and help when needed, and you're truly appreciated. Now, let's celebrate each of our team's successes. We'll start with Mary Sumler and Phil Hockey.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start by thanking Ms. Trail for all the hard work she put into this season, Ms. Schaefer for all the behind-the-scenes work she did for our team, Coach Pollock for painting the field and getting our order for every practice, our parents for all of their support, Kate Parker for being our go-to mom. She took such good care of us, feeding and hydrating us, you name it, she did it for us. Coach Misha and Coach Lisa for volunteering to work with our girls. They are an amazing part of our field hockey program. Lastly, I want to thank our girls for a great season. 3 years ago, in the 2019 season, we almost lost our field hockey program. as we didn't have enough girls to field a team. But 7 girls came out to play. 4 of those girls were Sam Bauer, Campbell Neal, Tanner Vogel, and Meredith Wynn. They saved our season as they agreed to play 7v7. This meant that all of our games were scrimmages and didn't count for a championship season. So the games really didn't count. We were lucky to have the teams in our BRC conference willing to play us. These girls practiced every day, played 10 45-minute games with no subs, and at the end of the season, it really didn't count. But it did. It really did. As these girls kept field hockey alive. When it could have died. Their dedication and sacrifice will allow our younger girls, the Pixies, a chance to play field hockey for years to come. Okay, so I've explained to you how these girls saved field hockey. Then COVID hit. We had lots of girls on our team, but no games. We practiced each day, but never got to play field hockey. Fast forward to this season. We had lots of girls and a schedule of games to play. We were excited. The team consisted of 16 girls, and only 5 had ever played a game. The girls had to learn how to play field hockey and how to play together as a team, all at the same time. Not to mention we didn't have a goalie. Sam, Catherine, Savannah, Deja, and Lucy Page all stepped up for their team and played goalie. Thank you, ladies. But our season was great despite all of our challenges. The seniors led us all season, fostering strong bonds, encouraging a supportive environment, and playing extremely hard till the last whistle blew. They have set a high standard and have created and solidified the foundation we need for Northcross to have a competitive field hockey program in the future. Because of their efforts and sacrifices over the years, we have something special to build on. Our younger players, 8th grade, Millie, Maeve, Merritt, Emma, Lucy Page, and Savannah, always played with such unbelievable grit and heart. Our 9th graders, Eleanor, Catherine, and Ava, battled hard and stepped up in so many ways for their team. Our 10th graders, Sophia, Deja, and Vivian, were our tenacious defense and kept us in most of our games. Our seniors, Tanner, who played with passion and strength, never gave up and was our top scorer. Meredith, who brought leadership, spirit, and consistent skill on the field. Campbell, who was our defensive wall at midfield. Sam, who was unstoppable in goal and a leader on the field and off the field. We will miss these 4 seniors next year. It has been a season that should not be measured by wins and losses, but instead measured by the character, dedication, and heart of the girls on the 2021 Varsity Northcross field hockey team. That's a winning season if you ask me. Thank you.
Okay, it's been a while since we've invited everyone to pick up their varsity letters. This morning, as we call the teams, I would like for you to approach towards your coaches. You will receive your letter from Coach Trail and Coach Pollock. You will walk behind the podium, come around in front of the table, and remain standing, leaving a gap so that your coach can come back to the podium to announce the special awards. Okay, varsity field hockey, start making your way. Starting with 8th grade, Savannah Brooks. And y'all keep coming. Millie Chopsky, keep coming. Walk over the red mat. There you go. Keep coming. Lucy Paige Ellett. May Parker. Emma Vada. Y'all can keep coming. Merritt Young. Eleanor Blackshaw. Ava Talaski. Catherine Hancock. Sophia Brown. Deja Garrison. Vivian Pickrell. Sam Bauer, captain. Campbell O'Neill, captain. Tanner Vogel, captain. And Meredith Wynn, captain. Thank you, girls. Please remain standing. I'm going to invite your coach back to the podium. All right.
The MVP Award. This person gives 100% effort, 100% of the time. She led by example, always offered to help, showed excellent sportsmanship on the field, and represented North Cross with a lot of integrity. She was a consistent defensive stopper and made it look easy. She always worked hard and tirelessly for her team. Our 2021 MVP goes to Campbell O'Neill. Coaches Award. We chose Sam Bauer for this year's Coaches Award. Sam was always willing to help whenever and wherever we needed her. She was an outstanding goalie and a tough competitor on the field until she hurt her knee. Once she was not able to play, she still came to every practice. She would help us coach the JV team when we were preparing for a varsity game. Coach Sam. She helped train Catherine, Lucy, Paige, and Savannah when they played goal. She was an asset to our team, and we were very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Thank you for being our guinea pigs. Teams, hope you're paying attention, because that's how it rolls. All right, next up to the podium, I'd like to invite the 2021 cross-country coach, Ed Dickinson.
Good morning. I'm honored to speak to you this morning about this year's cross-country program. We had a fantastic cross-country season, and it was particularly special because, unlike last year, we were able to compete in a full season of races and take part in full conference and state championship events. Between our middle school and varsity programs, we had 11 new runners on the team, which gave us significantly more depth. But we still had a young team overall with no seniors on our roster. I would like to thank all of the people who helped support our program from day to day, including Tracy Schaefer, Coach Pollock, Mrs. Williams, and Blair Trail. and of course, our fantastic parents. I also want to thank my assistant coach, Lauren Horner, who brings so much experience, energy, and knowledge to each practice. Many thanks as well to the Thompson family for hosting a wonderful end-of-season gathering. Above all, two things made this year very memorable for me as a coach. One is that we had a group of runners who took a huge step forward from the end of last season with relentless preparation. These individuals pushed themselves through the winter months, logging between 350 and 400 miles in December, January, and February, the hardest months. Then, as soon as the spring season ended, they began a series of summer practices starting the second week of June that allowed us to put in an incredible 2 months of training and local racing before our actual cross-country season began. This meant our base level of fitness as a team was at a completely different level. Secondly, the motivation of our team was simply stellar, as was the internal leadership. We had a lot of fun as a group, but when it was time to get to work, everyone was ready to go. Not only did they accept that our program was challenging, they embraced that challenge. To have 26 runners from the 6th to the 11th grades who are all dialed into the same team philosophy and who are all willing to make those sacrifices necessary to move the team forward, that's a special thing. We performed well in all of our races this year, including standout performances at the Knights Crossing Invitational, where our boys finished 4th out of 28 teams, and at the Sharks Invitational, where our boys finished 2nd overall. We had front runners at every race, and it was not unusual to see Austin Prosser and Keeley Prosser win the middle school races, and then a few minutes later to see Kyle Thompson and Kerrigan Cheney come out and win the varsity races. Our girls team had an excellent year, even though we lacked that 5th varsity runner necessary to give us a full squad. But our girls showed enormous dedication and improvement throughout the season. As a coach who's been in the sport for a long time, it is exciting to see the dramatic improvement in the depth and talent level at both our conference and state meets. This was both the largest and by far the fastest Vista State meet in the history of the event, with 40 schools towing the line in our Division II race, including 220 individuals in the girls' race and 264 in the boys' race. At the conference championship, we had 4 runners receive all-conference distinction, with Kerrigan Cheney finishing 3rd, Kyle Thompson finishing 2nd, and Dylan White finishing 10th. Our boys finished 4th at conference, but were only a few places out of 2nd. At the state meet, several individuals earned all-state recognition. Kerrigan Cheney finished a brilliant 3rd place in 1855, while in the boys' race, Kyle Thompson finished in 4th place in 1655, and Dylan White sprinted it out to take an impressive 15th place right on the line in 1744. Our boys finished in 8th place overall out of 29 full teams. I hope that I'm prescient in saying that as good a season as we had this year, next year looks even more exciting. We are returning our full varsity team, along with a number of exceptionally talented middle school runners who will begin making their transition into the varsity ranks. I would like to thank all of my runners for your commitment, your support, and the enthusiasm that you brought to every practice. Please come forward.
In great order, guys. Leo, you're first. Oh, you got it? All right. Leo Lampros. Harry Anderson. Alex Dickinson. Peter Kraminski, Connor Onafor, Paul Schuler, Dylan White, all conference, all state. Kyle Thompson, captain, all conference, all state. For the ladies, Kerrigan Cheney, all conference, all state. Lydia Horner, Flavie Daniels, Alexis Teeter, Gia. Aaron, sorry. Congratulations.
The Coaches Award for the girls team goes to a new runner in our program who became a fantastic leader and one of the core runners on our team. Alexis Teeter is a multi-sport athlete who seemed to become a part of the fabric of our program right from the first day she practiced with us. She was a tenacious competitor who improved tremendously during the season. In September, we named her as the captain of the girls team, and her positive leadership helped set the tone for every practice. It is a great pleasure to present the Coaches Award to Alexis Teeter. The MVP award for the girls team goes to a young lady whose quiet nature belies her fiery competitiveness. It is not a small thing for a coach to watch a runner set a new course record at a well-established race. And Kerrigan Cheney set 3 new course records during the season. Her win at the Knights Crossing Invitational was an amazing performance that marked the beginning of our season, and this was followed up by wins at Christian Heritage Academy and on our home course and at New Covenant. Out of every race we ran this season, there were only 2 top-ranked runners from the Covenant School who ever beat her in head-to-head competition. Along with her all-conference and all-state honors, she also earned Milestat Elite Performance status at 3 different races during the season. It is an honor to present the MVP award to Kerrigan Cheney. On the boys team, the Coaches Award goes to a young man who dropped minutes off his 5K time to become the second runner on our team this year. Dylan White is a cagey racer with a blazing sprint, and his fantastic races at both the conference and state meets showed him to be one of the most improved athletes on our team and perhaps in our whole conference. His strong track season last spring helped prepare him for this cross-country year, and his drive to move to the next level provided great inspiration for his teammates throughout the season. The Coaches Award goes to Dylan White. The MVP for our boys team goes to our team captain, who although quiet and modest in nature, is a tireless worker and a focused, gifted racer. Kyle Thompson has a natural gait that makes fast running look easy and effortless. As a team captain, he is a wonderful role model, friend, and mentor to all the other athletes on our team. His second place at the conference championship and his 4th place at the state meet mark him as one of the top returning athletes in our conference next year. His positive and committed approach to the sport is what I hope to see in all of my athletes. It is with great pride that I present the MVP award to Kyle Thompson. Thank you.
Thank you, cross-country team. It was fantastic. Next up to the podium, I'd like to invite our 2021 girls varsity volleyball coach, Scott Wild.
Good morning, everybody. I just got a few cards here. First of all, I got to thank these three people sitting over here to my left. Coach Trail, Coach Pollock, Coach Schaefer. It's just, Coach Trail always has a lot going on, but she especially has a lot going on in the fall, and she was always there when I needed her. She was texting me one time when I got lost in Lynchburg, and she's running a tournament over at Roanoke, and she's still texting me back. And when you're coaching, to have to set up the gym it's just not something you want to do. Most people don't realize in the fall, volleyball is the only indoor sport. So we had to deal with COVID and all of that added to the mix. And Coach Pollock always had the gym ready for us every match, and it's just amazing. And all the administrative work, the health forms and the first aid kits and all that stuff is another thing that coaches have to do, and Coach Schaefer takes care of all of that for us. So without those three, we couldn't do our jobs, and I just want to thank them, first of all. It was the most fun I've had in a long time coaching the volleyball team. This was a great group of girls, and I contribute a lot of that to my three seniors. Amazing. I just got to thank them from the bottom of my heart. I've known each of those three girls since they were freshmen in one of my math classes, and to watch them grow into amazing young ladies has just been nothing short of amazing. I just have to say that to my three seniors. I also want to thank our parents that supported us, especially Mr. and Mrs. Slem. Mr. Slem ran the clock for us all the time, which was unbelievable, and Mrs. Slem fed us every away match. There was always a big cooler of food and everything for us. So to them and Mrs. Ratliff was at every match. She followed us all around, and she announced for us at our home matches. And without the parents that were here and the student body, our home matches, to see the student body over here cheering us, and Lambert running up and down the court, and the kids doing the wave. It was amazing time, and it was fun to have high school sports back. I want to thank my assistant coach, Emily. She did a lot for me. She took over a lot of the practice duties and stuff and made my job easy. It was a successful season. We didn't win as many as we wanted to. We played 3 overtime matches and unfortunately lost them, but it was we had a lot of fun. We had an amazing time, and I owe that to the girls. There wasn't any internal squabbles. They got along, they played well, they played hard, they supported each other, and it's to them and to the 3 seniors. I'm going to talk about, I know I'm such a player, so I won't mention your name. We played an 8th grader this year in varsity volleyball. And to watch an 8th grader go toe-to-toe against juniors and seniors is pretty amazing, and she did it. And she's an amazing athlete, and I told her I'd never make her serve when the game was on the line, and I lied, I did that. And she got up there with the match on the line, or the game on the line, and she served, and she won the point. She got the serve in, we won the point, and she walked back, she goes, "I'll never forgive you for that." But, you know, she came through, she served, she went. It's amazing watching an 8th grader play toe-to-toe with juniors and seniors, and she'll be something in the future. Again, I just want to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank the girls in front of the whole student body, and let's come up and get our awards.
Okay, volleyball, you're correct. Come this way, please. Okay, starting with the 8th graders, Scout Capus. Valeria Dancha. Catherine Hancock. Mallory Kern, Indira Weed, Tia Hash, Isabella Onifer, Anne-Marie Sloan, Kate Overton, Brooklyn Durham, Grayson Lane Ratliff, second team all-conference, Mead Greer, captain, first team all-conference, Alexis Hash, Annie Slim, captain, second team all-conference. And we'd also like to recognize and thank Flavia Daniels and Sophie Maka. If you're here, please come forward as well. Okay, Tia Hash, please come forward. And Alexis. Great. All right, so we're going to leave a little bit of space here in front of the podium, and Coach Wild will come back here momentarily. Okay, girls, hang tight.
All right, I'm going to start off with the Coaches Award. And I've known this young lady since she was a freshman. And like I said, to watch her grow to a senior, and it's been pretty amazing. That's one of the coolest things of teaching, is to watch high school kids when you get to teach them as freshmen, and then you get to teach them again and coach them as juniors and seniors. To watch them grow is just why we do this job. She was a starter, she was a team leader, she was our cheerleader. Every match, she'd go down to the end of the bench, set up her little spot with her goodies and her chair, and I had refs come tell me, Coach, when she's not in, you gotta make her sit down. She'd be up cheering and dancing, and she was just an amazing leader, an athlete, and a coach couldn't ask for anything more than that. So my 2021 Coaches Award goes to Alexis Hash. Our most valuable player goes to a young lady. She was our floor captain. She was our leader all year. She led the team. And volleyball is tough. Volleyball is like football. In football, how do you compare a quarterback to a running back to a lineman? Volleyball is the same way. You can have the best hitters in the world, but if you don't have somebody to get them the ball, they can't hit. If you don't have a passer, so it's hard to compare a setter to a hitter, to a defensive specialist, but it's a team sport. But this young lady was our floor captain. She led in serving percentages. She was our leader. She was she made first team all conference. And the 2021 most valuable player goes to Mead Greer. And again, let's give another round to these amazing young ladies up here, and thank you.
Thank you, girls. Next up, our 2021 girls varsity tennis coach, Ms. Amy Baccalani.
Good morning. First, I would like to thank Coach Trail, Coach Pollock, especially for delivering water to us every day. That is not an easy task to pull a cooler up the hill. Tracy Schaefer, who keeps us organized, and Jim Schaefer for all the work he puts into taking care of the courts. my assistant coach, Sarah Bishop, for helping me throughout the season, Mrs. Cullen and Mrs. Schaefer for being our assistant coaches at times at away games. And every day when we start our practice, the team and the coaches and us, we do something called peak and pit, where you say, what's the peak of your day and what's the pit of your day? Hopefully we follow the pit comes first and then the peak. It's just a way of sort of blowing off the day's worries. So I want to thank the players for being the peak of my day, even if I had multiple pits. Thank you. I loved going out there every day and working with those girls. Tennis is different from most sports. It is not only physical, but also a mental game. Most of the time, a player is out there by themselves, no teammates around them to support them. If you are having a bad day or do not feel well, there is no one else that can sub in for you. You just have to finish the game. We talk to ourselves a lot, or the fence. And as you know, tennis is a quiet game. Tennis is not necessarily a go out and play the game you play any day. Your opponent can be a lobber, which can drive you insane. You can come up against a girl who never misses the ball, or the girl who never misses the ball but looks like you should be able to wipe her off the court. Or there's the player who is so much better than all the players in the BISAA that you know you're not going to win, but you give it your all. This team came up against all of these type players. And what really impressed me is that they worked hard to do better against these players the next time so they could win. And some of them did. This was also the deepest team I have coached in the last 6 years. If someone was sick or injured, I was always ready to move everyone up, and we still won. That does not always happen. Most of the girls have been on the team since they have been freshmen, and they have worked hard every year, both on and off the court, to improve their game. And it shows. This year, we were conference finalists, so if history repeats itself, we should win next year. We again made it to the BISAA tournament, which we have done every year since we have been able to play in the tournament when we moved to the fall. That, I feel, is very impressive. I am only losing 2 seniors this year, Isabel Blackshaw and Reagan Carlin, who I will miss very much. Next year, everyone will be a year older and wiser, so they again will be a force to be reckoned with. Watch out, BES. Here we come.
Anna Chakuzzi. I got your name right. And Bradley Cullen, first team all conference, second team all state, BRC runner up. Lauren Boone. Dominic Bancoli. Selden Burns. Kate Cook, Ashley Nanda, Anya Raza, Kinsley Alcorn, Kate Bishop, second team all conference. Right here. Kylie Schaefer, captain, first team all conference, first team all state, BRC singles tournament champion. Sally Terrell. Kalani Weed. Isabel Blackshaw. And Reagan Corlin, captain. Congratulations, ladies.
Okay, I think I'll do the most valuable player first. This year's most valuable player should be no surprise, so I'm just going to say it. Most valuable player this year is Kylie Schaefer. Kylie has been a strong asset to the team over the last 3 years, and this year was no different. Kylie won all her matches this year, except when she played number 1 at VES, which would be the player that no one in the state could beat. But I love Kylie's response after she played Blair. She said, "I may have lost, Coach, but that was the most fun I had all year." She also had an incredible match against the number 1 player at Cape Henry, and after being down by, I think, 3 or 4 games most of the match, which of course made me very nervous and have my stomach do 15 somersaults, she came back and won it. I can't remember, and I couldn't find the sheet, but I think it was 11-9 or a tiebreaker? 10-8, okay. So, and that was a huge win. Kylie made first team all-conference, first team all-state. She was the BRC singles champion. She was also captain of the team. Kylie can play with anyone and win in doubles. She controls the court and makes her player better. She had some great matches with a number of the players on the team. As a captain, she led by example as well as doing whatever I asked her to do. I'm looking to seeing Kylie play next year, and I believe big things are coming her way. Congratulations, Kylie. The Coaches Award. This year's Coaches Award goes to a player who has been not only on the team, but by my side, on and off the court for the last 4 years. Her freshman year, she stated she could not play tennis very well, and by the end of the season, it was her favorite sport. She has won conference championships, been undefeated at doubles, and she is the player who, even when down, I can walk over the fence, give her some peanut butter M&Ms, and say, "What do you need?" And she responds, "I got this." And I respond, "But you are down by 2." And she responds, "I got this." And then she wins. As far as a doubles player, she is solid, and no matter who I put her with, she plays strong and makes her partner not only stronger, but keeps their head in the game. She was a leader and a captain of the team, and was someone I could always go to rally the troops when morale was down. I will miss her next year, and I hope she will continue to play tennis, because she was wrong her freshman year. She can play tennis well. This year's Coaches Award goes to Raven Carlin.
Thank you, that was great. And if we didn't have to mention, they were the 2021 BRC finalists this year, so that was well done. Next up, our 2021 varsity football coach, Coach Stephen Alexander, talking about the 2021 BIC championship football team and the VISA Division II state runner-up. Here we go.
I think Coach Trail said a lot of great things in her opening. I appreciate all the athletes this fall season and the rest of the year. We have a great participation rate in athletics at North Cross, and I appreciate the faculty cooperating with that. We tell students on the way into the school that they will have a better experience as a North Cross student if they are involved in co-curricular activities like athletics and arts, theater, and it takes a lot of cooperation to make that true. So we can't have it both ways, and I appreciate the faculty working with these student athletes that take their sports so seriously, and it means so much to them. Thank you to the athletic staff, Coach Trail, Coach Pollock, and Ms. Schaefer for everything you do to make football work. It's a really big operation. The IT department, Ryan and Zach. For the live stream, and I've got a great coaching staff, I've got an unbelievable group of parents, and it takes a lot of work from the whole group to pull off football, and I appreciate everyone's work. This was a year of a lot of new things for North Cross. We graduated 7 of a 20-man roster the year prior. So we didn't have a very big group returning. So we had a lot of new faces, and new positions. And it turns out that August was an incredible month for us. We started on August 2nd, and before the first day of school, we logged over 100 hours as a team together. And that doesn't include the guys working out on their own or any of the non-team related activities that we did. We preached preparation, and that month of preparation propelled us to a great season. We got off to a great start with a big win at Nansman Suffolk against one of the best players in the state of Virginia. It propelled the team to a VIC championship and our third consecutive appearance in the state finals. We preach preparation because it translates to everything beyond football. It translates to the classroom, it translates to your life after athletics. And I think the way we prepared in August was the difference maker for how we finished the year. Obviously, it didn't go our way on the last game of the year, which is a difficult thing. And Coach Trail mentioned the emotions after that game. She was there, saw it firsthand. The intense emotions experienced after that game were not a result of some petulant teenagers that didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get a championship, which is what they wanted. Rather, it was a group of young men that cared about each other a lot. And they set aside a lot of differences this year. They set aside the differences in race and religion, ethnicity, the personality, and even individual goals and aspirations for a common goal. And they strive together for that common purpose. And they wanted to win for the brothers that they sweat and bled with all year, starting August 2nd. And that's the beauty of sports. That we were really different this year, and we were really new, but they loved each other and they cared about each other. And that's why emotions were high. Even in the face of defeat, it shows the beauty of sport. This 2021 football team was successful on the field because of the way they prepared off the field, the way they cared about each other. And it's a special group, and it's a season that I'll never forget. So, guys, I appreciate it. I appreciate all you athletes, coaches, faculty, athletic staff. It all needs to work together to make it successful. So, I'm full of gratitude. I thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, this is a big team. We're going to start with the 8th grade, so 8th graders, work your way to the front. First up, Elliot Fricker. Ethan Grigas. Justin Jones. Stockton LaFell. Boaz Atia. Quale Carter, second team all-conference, and he was also VIC honorable mention as a kick returner. Cole Cass. Omri Niv. Ashton Cornett, VIC honorable mention as a punter. Moritz Middendorfer, second team all-conference as both wide receiver and a punt returner. Cam Johnson, first team all-conference running back. Danny Fung. Moritz Schmorzing. Yay, Moritz. Isan Zhao. Luca Bachin. Ian Can. Chase Daniel. Captain, first team all-conference as a offensive lineman, and BIC honorable mention as a defensive lineman. Reed Davis, second team all-conference linebacker. Dylan England, BIC honorable mention as a defensive line. Ethan Ferguson. Jack Formato. Hannes Hammer, first team all-conference offensive line. Ivor Pogba. Connor Lane, captain, first team all-conference as quarterback. Zach Morgan, captain, first team all-conference linebacker. Raleigh Cundiff, first team all-conference defensive line. Bat Hansen. Ed Ma. Vedant Muse, first team all-conference as a kicker. Mark Notzel, first team all-conference as a tight end. Will Race, VIC honorable mention offensive line. Lambert Rasinski, second team all-conference defensive line. And Cross Thompson, captain, first team all-conference defensive back. We do not have the all-state accolades at this moment, but y'all please just stand still. Coach Alexander, back to the podium.
When you have a team like this, it's hard to give any individual awards. Especially this year was unique because we had a lot of solid players without the obvious superstars like we had in years past with Zay Baines and James Jackson. This was a group that didn't really care about the individual accolades, the individual stats. They just did whatever it took to win. And some games that meant we threw for a lot of yards, and some games that meant we ran for a lot of yards, and some games we dominated on defense. We just won however we could. And so we have to give these individual awards, but these are really team accomplishments. These were really difficult to determine. Our coaches talked about it, and they could have gone to multiple kids, but I can only give two. That's on Coach Trail, by the way. So, defensive MVP, difficult choice, but it goes to a guy that really was the heart and soul of the defense, and he made plays in big spots for us. He had particularly great games against some of our best opponents. Zach Morgan, congratulations. Offensively, like I said, a lot of new faces and new places this year, and the guy that really got the engine going from day one and did a great job kind of doing whatever we needed him to do, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball. He did a really good job of taking care of the ball throughout the year. Was kind of like. And then I'm going to break protocol and give out one more notification, or recognition, I should say. Not every year, but a lot of years we just have a slam dunk leader captain that gets unanimously voted in by the players and the coaches. And that's the guy we hang our hat on to say, that's North Cross football. We were really fortunate to have one of those guys this year, and that was Chase Daniel. Thanks again, guys. Good job.
Thank you, football team. That was great. Maybe it's a good thing we came to the game, Jim. We would have never fit on the stage. But y'all did great. Okay. Last but not least, 2021 boys varsity soccer, VIC and state champions, Mr. Coach Brown.
Good morning. I would like to begin this morning by saying thank you to all those people who helped make our season one that our guys will always remember. The first person I would like to thank is my assistant coach, Ezra Zagarbi. Ezra is passionate about the game of soccer, and with his little downtime that he has, you'll always find him walking around or sitting with his phone watching soccer. He simply can't get enough. The same passion is translated to our guys when he works with them each and every day. They truly look up to him, and we are very lucky to have him working with us. Ezra was a member of the 2012 state championship team and is now the first person in program history to win one as a player and as a coach. I would like to thank Coach Pollard for all of his efforts this season. He spent countless hours battling the field liner to make sure our lines were always well maintained. If you saw his hands, clothes, or shoes after marking the field, you would understand what I mean when I say battling the liner. He also made sure that we had everything we needed for practice and on game days, allowing us to focus on coaching the team. I especially appreciate his help in our preparations for our trip to Richmond and helping the team get situated at the hotel as I tended to my visitor responsibilities on Thursday evening. Another big thanks to Coach Pollard is for giving Ezra the full assistant coach experience and showing him how to use a washing machine to wash the guys' uniforms prior to the final match. I'm sure the bus driver was thankful too. I would like to thank our wonderful group of parents. We appreciate your overwhelming kindness and generosity. Your support during games is also very much appreciated. You are always there to give the guys a lift when they need it. And thank you for letting us coach your children. It is truly a privilege to coach such a fine group of young men. I would like to say thank you to Blair Trail, Tracy Schaefer, for their continued help and support throughout the season. And finally, I would like to thank our seniors. I thank you for your commitment to the program and most importantly, your leadership. Your leadership was such a big part of our success this season. Like those that came before you, you have shown the younger players what it means to wear the North Cross jersey. For you all to go out on top means the world to me, and we will surely miss you next year. A little bit on our season. There was an interaction that happened way back in preseason, which I could simply not forget. As I watched our team progress throughout the season. It was the first week of training, and Dr. Proctor came by the session to see how everything was going. I was giving him a rundown of the team as Ezra put the players through a tough bout of fitness. I'm sure many of you remember that. Upon finishing, the players made their way over for water, and Dr. Proctor introduced himself to the new players. As they headed back out for the next drill, Dr. Proctor jokingly says, or at least I hope he was joking, you know Coach Brown's job security hinges on winning the championship. One of the new players turns around and with the straightest of face says, don't worry, we're not going to lose. Then walks off to join the drill. The not going to lose mindset pretty much sums up how our team played this season. We dealt with injuries, we dealt with illness, you name it, we dealt with it. It was always the next man up, and more times than not, they figured out a way to win. Our team from 2020 graduated 10 seniors. With that group of 10 moving on, we lost a large part of what we did offensively. Their absence also left us with some major holes in our defensive unit, and not to mention the enormous loss of experience. We preach to this year's team, day in and day out, that everything starts with defense. The offense will take care of itself. We have the guys that can score and will score. Do your work on the defensive side of the ball, and good things will happen. We finished the season with a record of 22-3, and 16 out of our wins out of the 22 were shutouts. When it was on the line during a stretch run for the conference and state championships, they allowed 1 goal over the last 9 games. Along this journey, we had a number of memorable games. The 1-0 win to start the season over Seton, the 3-2 win against Trinity Christian at the Stewart Tournament, the comeback wins on the road against VES and Covenant, the 1-0 win over Stewart in the first rematch, the 2-0 win against Covenant in the conference championship, the comeback win in overtime with 2 minutes to go, and the second overtime in the state semis over Norfolk Collegiate, and none better than the state championship game. Our guys were so focused, and they totally deflated a team that had beaten us 4-1 earlier in the season. Once we scored, you could see and feel the energy level rise to a whole nother level. They dominated and took the game from that moment going forward. Which brings me back to that statement made in preseason. They were not going to lose. What an amazing season, and I am so proud of what you were all able to accomplish together. You played with grit and determination every time you stepped on the field. Well done, boys. Please come forward and receive your awards.
Hunter Basilio, second team all-conference. Tyler Bloomfield. Dean Cook. Jimmy Dickerson. Jack Dorn. Will Nolan Jackson. Leighton Stern, Sam Canizio, Maddox Haskins, Harper Capus, Hudson Lawrence, Xavier Mitchell, Mason Merkinson, Jackson Patterson, Liam Ripple, Blake Shan, Ned Tower, Rowan Burton, second team all-conference. Chase Lemon, Henry Martin, Denzel Marafu, first team all-conference, first team all-state. Mark Mendoza, first team all-conference, second team all-state. Grayson Pilliman, Zachariah Spooner, Spencer Brown, captain, conference player of the year, co-state player of the year. Jackson Haskins, Matthew Trout, captain, first team all-conference, first team all-state. And the great Reese Wayne, captain.
the other awards, I do have one more award. As I saw Mr. Cook yesterday. And we've had a tradition or competition for the past 50 years. And it's been about the last 30 years that Mr. Cook has signed $1 for the winner of that competition. So the winner of this year's PK competition is Liam Ripple, and I have your Liam, don't spend that. Selecting the award recipients for a team sport is always a difficult task. This year it seemed to be even tougher as there were so many valuable contributions to the team's success. Some guys had outstanding years scoring goals, some in the assist column, some on the defensive side of the ball, while others did some of the dirty work that often do not show up on the stat sheet. But we had to select two. That's true. It has been great to watch the winner of this year's Coaches Award grow as a player and leader during the 5 years that I've been involved in coaching him. He always came to practice ready to train, and in most cases he was the first person to arrive to practice. As a coach, I could always count on him giving his very best every time he stepped on the field. As a player and teammate, he was encouraging, responsible, dedicated, and always willing to do whatever was asked of him on the field. A true definition of selflessness. As I mentioned on senior night, he was also very polite and respectful. His response to a question was always yes sir or no sir, and after every practice or game, he would always say thank you. This season we moved him all around the backfield before finally keeping him at center back, where he did a tremendous job for us. He was great in the air and did an unbelievable job of cleaning up our mistakes and any of the through balls our opponents tried to play through. What I love about this young man is he is Mr. Northcross. He's involved in so many activities here at Northcross. And where he is involved, he is 100% committed and gives nothing but his best. I thank you for his 5 years of commitment to the soccer program. We will miss his leadership and dedication next season. I present this year's Coaches Award to Reese Wink. The MVP started the season at center back, which is the position he played last season. As I mentioned earlier, we went through a long stretch of the season where our lineup was different each game. With players out, we decided to move this player into the midfield, hoping to control the midfield by winning the aerial game. While it did take a couple of games and our full complement of players to return, he dominated from this position. He was great in the air and could spray the ball at distance, allowing us to get behind the defense quickly. He was named Conference Player of the Year, All-State Player of the Year, and All-Mid-Atlantic. He worked hard in the off-season to get himself stronger and working on his touch and free kicks. He spent countless hours after practice with Ezra, continuing to find and turn his free kicks. His efforts during the season pay off in the biggest of moments. He ended the season with 16 goals and 7 assists, but it's not about how many goals or how many assists a player has. It's whether or not you can do it when the game is on the line. He found a way to do this again and again this season. None bigger than the assist to Mark and his free kick off the crossbar that Grayson headed in during the state seminars, and the mind-boggling free kick that I was contemplating having him serve during the final. I'm so proud of all of his accomplishments and happy to present the MVP award to Spencer.
just have a few more announcements. Just stand up here and see how emotional my coaches get. It's special. For those of my new kids, I handed you this pen, and I'm sure you're like, what am I going to do with this? So if you received a pen, but not a letter, you'll need to come back up here and get your letter, and that's where you put all your pens. Okay. I want to thank Kenny Williams for coming in and cleaning and setting up and just being a positive, fun person to be around. And Sarah Sled and Ryan Schlachter and Zach Moss, who I'm pretty sure feel like they're in the athletic department. And I'm pretty sure when I call them, they like, do I pick up? Because I know she needs something. So we totally appreciate the three of you and Kenny as well, for you. And I also want to thank all of you that are in this room this morning. It makes a difference. So the faculty and staff that showed up this morning and the students that showed up this morning, it means something. And we're all super busy people, and you made time to be here. Thank you.
And upon dismissal, if you received a team MVP or coaches award, please quickly come to the front for pictures with Ms. Sled and everyone else. Have a fabulous day. Thank you.